Power. It's the invisible force that shapes history, controls empires, and influences every relationship, from boardrooms to backrooms. But what if you could decode power itself? In the 48 Laws of Power, best-selling author Robert Greene reveals the secret strategies used by the most cunning leaders, rulers, and thinkers throughout history. This book is not about kindness or fairness. It's about strategy, survival, and influence in a world ruled by ambition. Whether you want to climb the corporate ladder, navigate social politics, or simply understand the rules of the game, this book is your playbook for mastering power. But beware, every law comes with consequences. Use them wisely or risk being used by others. Let's unlock the dark truths and timeless tactics behind power, one law at a time. Let's go. Law 1. Never outshine the master. One of the most fundamental principles of power is to never outshine those above you. People in power often have fragile egos, and if you appear too brilliant, talented, or competent, you may unintentionally threaten them. This can lead to resentment or retaliation, even if your intentions are pure. The key is to make your superiors feel superior. Show your talents subtly and allow them to take some credit. When they feel secure, they are more likely to support you and even help you rise. History is filled with examples of people who fell from grace simply because they made their masters feel inferior. Nicolas Fouquet, a finance minister under Louis XIV, built a lavish palace to impress the king, but instead he was arrested and imprisoned for life. His mistake? Trying to outshine the king. In contrast, those who flatter, support, and stay in the background tend to thrive under powerful figures. Power often comes not from brilliance, but from strategic humility. Lesson: always be careful with how you present yourself around those in authority. Help them shine, and your own light will grow quietly but steadily. Law 2. Never put too much trust in friends. Learn how to use enemies. This law advises caution in trusting friends too much. While friends can be loyal, they are also more likely to betray out of envy, expectation, or emotional conflicts. Many friendships are formed emotionally, not strategically, and when power or money enters the equation, things can get complicated. Robert Greene suggests that enemies are often more reliable allies. Why? Because they have something to prove. If you can turn an enemy into a friend, they may be more loyal and driven to maintain peace, as they want to erase past conflict and prove their change. There's also a danger in hiring or depending too heavily on friends. Familiarity can breed laziness or disrespect. Friends may assume you'll tolerate more from them and overstep boundaries. In contrast, someone who was once against you is more likely to tread carefully. A historical example: Michael III of the Byzantine Empire trusted his friend Basilius and raised him to power, only to be assassinated by him later. The lesson? Emotions cloud judgment. Lesson: stay professional. Be cautious with friends in business or power, and don't dismiss enemies. Sometimes they're the key to your rise. Law 3. Conceal your intentions. Power thrives in mystery and unpredictability. If people can't read your motives, they can't prepare defenses against you. When others know your plans too early, they may oppose or sabotage you, especially if your goals threaten their own interests. Robert Greene emphasizes that by keeping your intentions secret, you gain control. Use decoys, misdirection, or vague language to keep people guessing. Appear open and friendly, but keep your true goals hidden beneath the surface. A powerful strategy is to tell people what they want to hear while pursuing your real goals quietly. Let them assume your intentions align with theirs. By the time they realize the truth, it will be too late for them to act. For example, Otto von Bismarck, the mastermind behind German unification, always concealed his true objectives with diplomacy and distractions. His enemies were left confused and off balance, allowing him to advance without resistance. However, this law must be used wisely. If you're too secretive, people may become suspicious. The trick is to appear transparent while hiding your true agenda beneath the surface. Lesson: keep your strategies hidden. Let your actions surprise people, not your words. Law 4. Always say less than necessary. Powerful people are often silent and reserved. When you speak too much, you risk saying something foolish, revealing too much, or reducing your influence. The more you say, the more ordinary you appear, and the easier it is for others to analyze and predict you. This law teaches that restraint in speech creates mystery and authority. People respect those who are calm, controlled, and don't rush to speak. It makes others uncertain, and in that uncertainty you gain power. In contrast, saying too much can backfire. Trying to impress with words can expose insecurities or contradict your own goals. Silence, or saying just enough, forces others to work harder to understand you, and this attention gives you the upper hand. Louis XIV of France was a master of this. He spoke little in meetings and let others talk, often revealing their thoughts and weaknesses. His silence made him seem more powerful and wise than he may have been. Lesson: speak with purpose. Say only what is needed. The more you say, the more likely you are to say something wrong. Law 5. So much depends on reputation. Guard it with your life. In the game of power, reputation is everything. It's your image, your brand, your shield, and it influences how others treat you. A strong reputation can open doors, silence enemies, and make you appear greater than you are. But once it's damaged, it's extremely difficult to repair. This law teaches you to protect your reputation at all costs. Be alert to potential threats, rumors, jealousy, sabotage, and act quickly to counter them. Never allow yourself to be associated with scandal or weakness in public, even if you have private struggles. At the same time, you can use reputation as a weapon. By attacking your enemy's reputation, you weaken their power. This tactic is seen throughout history and modern politics, where character attacks are often more damaging than actual conflicts. A great example is the infamous Renaissance diplomat Cesare Borgia. He used fear, charm, and a carefully crafted public image to hold power over his rivals. His reputation alone often did more than his army. Lesson: build your reputation on solid traits like strength, reliability, or mystery. Then guard it fiercely, because one crack can break your entire image. Law 6. Court attention at all costs. To be powerful, you must always be visible. The world is full of noise and competition. If you blend in, you're forgotten. This law is about standing out, attracting attention, and controlling how others perceive you. People are drawn to what is bold, dramatic, or unusual. If you're constantly in the spotlight, others will assume you are important. Visibility creates presence, and presence creates influence. Even negative attention is sometimes better than being ignored, because silence is weakness in the game of power. Robert Greene advises using symbolism, mystery, drama, or controversy to stay in people's minds. Historical figures like P.T. Barnum mastered this. Barnum once hired someone to walk around town doing nothing but measuring bricks, just to generate curiosity and attention for a new show. But beware, attention must be carefully controlled. Too much or the wrong kind can lead to exposure or backlash. The goal is strategic attention. Make people talk about you for the right reasons and always leave them wanting more. Lesson: obscurity is your enemy. Be bold, unique, and present. Always control the spotlight before someone else does. Law 7. Get others to do the work for you, but always take the credit. This law focuses on leveraging the skills, knowledge, and effort of others to build your own power. It's not about being lazy. It's about being strategic. Why spend your energy on what others can do for you? Powerful people delegate, borrow ideas, or even quietly take credit for work done by others, all while appearing productive and brilliant. The key is to ensure the spotlight stays on you while others handle the heavy lifting behind the scenes. This isn't about stealing. It's about using what's available. Even great leaders, inventors, or artists often relied on unseen teams, past knowledge, or borrowed ideas. Thomas Edison is a classic example. He's credited with many inventions, but often worked from the ideas and labor of others in his workshop. Be cautious, though. Overdoing this or being caught outright stealing can backfire. The art lies in blending other people's efforts into your own image, while rewarding them just enough to keep them loyal, but not enough to outshine you. Lesson: use the talents and efforts of others to move forward faster, but make sure the credit, spotlight, and rewards come to you. Law 8. Make other people come to you. Use bait if necessary. The key to power is not chasing others, but having them come to you. This law stresses the importance of control. By making others feel they need you, You turn the power dynamic in your favor. When you pursue others or chase opportunities, you place yourself in a position of weakness. Instead, make people feel they are getting something valuable from you, and they will come seeking your help or expertise. In doing so, you retain control and can dictate the terms. The strategy is often to use bait, whether it's knowledge, resources, or opportunities. You create a situation where others feel compelled to come to you for assistance, advice, or partnership. By the time they approach, they're already invested, and you control the narrative. A great example is Machiavelli in his political strategies. He often advised rulers to keep their enemies close and make them feel as if they were dependent on their favors, thereby controlling the entire interaction. Lesson: do not chase power or recognition. Let others come to you, and in doing so, you'll control the outcome. Law 9. Win through your actions, never through argument. Actions speak louder than words, and this law is all about proving your worth through what you do, not what you say. Words can be convincing, but they can also be easily disputed, forgotten, or manipulated. To truly win, you must show results, not engage in endless debates. In power dynamics, arguments can create enemies. They can make you seem defensive or insecure and often don't change anyone's mind. Instead, focus on demonstrating your value through action. Let your success, skills, or results do the talking. For example, Napoleon Bonaparte rarely engaged in debates. He led his army with brilliant strategy and bold actions, which garnered him loyalty and respect. His actions made people follow him, not his words. Additionally, sometimes the best way to handle an argument is to withdraw from it entirely. By not arguing, you maintain an air of authority and decisiveness. People will start to see your silence as wisdom rather than weakness. Lesson: don't waste time arguing. Let your actions and the results they bring speak for you. Law 10. Infection: avoid the unhappy and unlucky. This law is about protecting yourself from a negative influence of others. Just as happiness and success are contagious, so are failure and negativity. Unlucky and unhappy people often bring bad energy, and associating with them can infect you with their misfortune, doubts, or toxic behavior. People who are constantly negative, unlucky, or bitter will pull you into their mindset and make it harder for you to succeed. Their failures become your burdens, and their outlook on life will affect your own attitude and actions. Instead, align yourself with people who are positive, driven, and successful. They will lift you up, share valuable insights, and help you move forward. It's not about ignoring people in need, but about recognizing when someone's negative influence is more harmful than helpful. A historical example of this is King Louis XIV of France. He surrounded himself with advisors and courtiers who were successful, brilliant, and aligned with his vision. He avoided those who brought bad luck or were prone to failure, ensuring his reign remained strong. Lesson: choose your companions wisely. Surround yourself with the successful and optimistic, and distance yourself from the unhappy and unlucky. Law 11. Learn to keep people dependent on you. This law teaches the power of dependency. To maintain control and influence, you must ensure that others rely on you for something they cannot easily get elsewhere. If people need you, they will work for your favor and be more loyal. Dependency creates power. By making yourself indispensable, you position yourself as a gatekeeper to whatever others want or need. This could be knowledge, resources, or opportunities. As long as you keep people needing you, you hold the leverage. However, it's important not to make people too comfortable, or they might become complacent. Keep them coming back for more, but always make sure they know you are the source. An example is Henry Kissinger, who used his position as a key diplomatic advisor. By making world leaders rely on his unique expertise, he gained unmatched power in the international arena. Lesson: to maintain power, make others dependent on you for something they can't get elsewhere. Law 12. Use selective honesty and generosity to disarm your victim. This law focuses on using strategic honesty and generosity to gain trust and disarm potential adversaries. People are naturally suspicious, but a well-timed, honest gesture can make them lower their guard. By showing a little vulnerability or giving someone a small benefit, you can make them more inclined to trust you, while masking your true intentions. Generosity is a powerful tool because it makes people feel indebted to you. However, use it selectively. If you give too much, you risk being seen as weak or easily manipulated. If you give too little, you won't gain the trust you need. A perfect example is the Trojan horse in Greek mythology. The Greeks used selective honesty and generosity by offering the Trojan horse as a gift, disarming the Trojans and allowing them to take the city. Lesson: be selectively generous or honest to gain people's trust and make them more vulnerable to your real plans. Law 13. When asking for help, appeal to people's self-interest, never to their mercy or gratitude. When you need help, don't rely on others' sense of mercy or gratitude. Instead, appeal to their self-interest. People are motivated by what benefits them. So frame your request in a way that shows how helping you will benefit them in return. If you make your request about what they stand to gain, they are far more likely to assist you, as they can see clear benefits to themselves. If you simply ask out of need or sympathy, you may be ignored or rejected. Self-interest is the greatest motivator in human behavior. Even when asking for favors, make sure the other person can see how it aligns with their goals. Lesson: when asking for help, show the other person what's in it for them. Make their self-interest your selling point. Law 14. Pose as a friend, work as a spy. This law suggests that you can gain valuable information by posing as a friendly ally while secretly gathering intelligence. By appearing to be close to someone, you can learn their weaknesses, desires, and plans. This insight allows you to gain leverage over them. A true spy listens more than they talk. When people feel comfortable and trust you, they will reveal their plans and vulnerabilities. Use this information to maneuver or prepare for future actions, but be careful not to reveal too much about yourself in the process. Historical examples, like the spy networks in ancient China or the espionage of modern intelligence agencies, show how powerful this tactic can be when done carefully. Lesson: appear friendly and trustworthy, but gather intelligence to use later in your strategic maneuvers. Law 15. Crush your enemy totally. To secure your position of power, you must completely destroy your enemies. If you leave them wounded or compromised, they will rise again. There's no room for half measures when it comes to dealing with opposition. This law stresses the idea of total victory. When you conquer an adversary, make sure they can't recover. This may mean eliminating their resources, reputation, or allies. When your enemies are fully crushed, they will never be a threat to you again. A historical example: Catherine the Great of Russia eliminated her rivals with decisive action, making sure no one could challenge her authority once she rose to power. Lesson: never leave your enemies half defeated. Destroy them completely, and you remove any future threat to your power. Law 16. Use absence to increase respect and honor. This law focuses on the power of strategic absence. Sometimes, being too available can make you seem less valuable or diminish your authority. When you withdraw periodically, people begin to value your presence more and recognize your importance. By making yourself scarce, you create a sense of mystery and desirability. People will feel the void you leave, and your return will be eagerly awaited. Too much presence, on the other hand, can lead to complacency or boredom. For instance, Machiavelli suggested that a ruler should show up when least expected, to maintain an air of dignity and mystique. By using absence, you ensure people's attention is focused on you when you do appear, heightening your power and influence. Lesson: use absence as a tool. When people miss you, they will respect you more. Law 17. Keep others in suspended terror. Cultivate an air of unpredictability. Powerful figures often maintain an aura of unpredictability. If others can't predict your behavior, they will be hesitant to challenge or oppose you because they never know what you might do next. This creates an environment of fear and respect. By mixing up your actions and not following a clear pattern, you keep people on edge. Unpredictability makes you appear dangerous, and people will be cautious in their dealings with you, as they won't know if you'll be kind or harsh. Napoleon Bonaparte was known for his unpredictability on the battlefield. By using unexpected tactics, he often outmaneuvered his opponents, making them too fearful to challenge him. Lesson: keep people uncertain about your actions and intentions. Unpredictability gives you an edge. Law 18. Do not build fortresses to protect yourself. Isolation is dangerous. This law warns against becoming too isolated. While it may seem safer to hide behind walls and avoid danger, isolation cuts you off from critical information, opportunities, and allies. The key is to engage with the world while remaining aware of the risks. By isolating yourself, you limit your understanding of others' intentions and lose out on the connections that sustain power. Your enemies can use this to their advantage, while you become blind to potential threats. Louis XIV of France remained in the public eye and engaged with his court, always surrounding himself with trusted individuals. His visibility and strategic relationships kept him in power. Lesson: stay connected and visible. Isolation only makes you vulnerable. Law 19. Know who you're dealing with. Do not offend the wrong person. This law emphasizes the importance of understanding other psychology before engaging with them. Not everyone responds the same way to power, and offending the wrong person can have disastrous consequences. Some people are more sensitive or vindictive than others. Knowing the temperament of those around you allows you to act accordingly and avoid unnecessary conflicts. If you offend someone with a dangerous temperament, they may retaliate in unexpected ways. In contrast, by learning how to flatter or please the right people, you can gain influence and allies. Queen Elizabeth I was known for her ability to read and influence people based on their characteristics, ensuring that she avoided conflict with the wrong individuals. Lesson: be strategic and understand who you're dealing with. Don't offend the wrong person. Law 20. Do not commit to anyone. This law warns against unnecessary commitments to any one person, group, or cause. Committing too early ties you down and reduces your freedom to move strategically. By keeping your options open, you maintain your ability to adapt and maneuver. Commitment creates expectations and obligations. If you tie yourself too tightly to someone or something, you become vulnerable to being used or manipulated. The key to power is flexibility and independence. When you remain neutral or uncommitted, you can ally with whomever benefits you the most at the time. A perfect example is Talleyrand, the French diplomat, who remained neutral in the changing tides of French politics, aligning himself with whichever side would elevate him the most. Lesson: stay independent and keep your options open. Committing too soon limits your power. Law 21. Play a sucker to catch a sucker. Seem dumber than your mark. This law encourages you to appear less intelligent or capable than you truly are in order to gain an advantage. If others think you're less of a threat, they will underestimate you, lowering their guard. By playing the fool, you can lure them into making mistakes, giving you the opportunity to take advantage of a situation. Feigning ignorance or pretending to be a sucker can make others reveal their true intentions, weaknesses, or valuable information without realizing it. Once they've fallen into the trap, you can strike or outsmart them with ease. A famous example is Carnegie's strategy in negotiations, playing a humble, unassuming character while using his true capabilities to influence a situation in his favor. Lesson: appear less competent than you are. This makes people overestimate their own abilities, giving you the upper hand. Law 22. Use a surrender tactic. Transform weakness into power. Sometimes, surrendering or giving up on something can be a strategic move. Instead of fighting against overwhelming forces, surrender and let your adversary believe they have won. This temporary submission allows you to regain strength, reorganize, and later strike back when the time is right. By giving in, you disarm your enemy's confidence and make them overconfident. They'll assume they've defeated you, but in reality, you're gaining time to plan your next move. Surrender is often the best tactic when it allows you to come back stronger later. One historical example is Napoleon Bonaparte, who used a form of strategic retreat to regain strength before executing a more decisive offensive. Lesson: know when to surrender, as it can give you a chance to come back more powerful than before. Law 23. Concentrate your forces. Power grows through focus and concentration. Spreading your efforts too thin can dilute your strength and make you ineffective. This law teaches you to focus all your energy and resources on a single target to achieve greater success. Whether an opportunity, a person, or a goal, concentrate all your efforts on it, and you will overwhelm it. Dividing your attention on too many things causes you to lose the edge you need to win. An example is Julius Caesar, who concentrated his military forces on a specific objective, his battle for power in Rome. His focused strategy led him to success. Lesson: concentrate your efforts on one thing at a time to maximize your power and chances of success. Law 24. Play the perfect courtier. The art of being a perfect courtier involves mastering the subtle skills of flattery, charm, and tact. It's not about being overtly powerful, but about influencing others with grace and subtlety. Courtiers thrive in high society by knowing the right words to say, how to flatter the right people, and when to remain quiet. The key to being an effective courtier is understanding the politics around you and using diplomacy and tact to navigate them. Successful courtiers manipulate situations without appearing manipulative. A perfect example is Balthasar Gracian, a 17th century Spanish Jesuit who wrote about the role of the courtier in his book, The Art of Worldly Wisdom. He emphasized the importance of charm and discretion in dealing with those in power. Lesson: master the art of subtlety. Influence people with charm and tact, and avoid direct confrontation. Law 25. Recreate yourself. This law is about reinvention. Constantly evolving and reinventing yourself ensures that you remain relevant and powerful. Don't let others define you or box you into a particular role. Instead, shape your image and create a new identity whenever necessary. By adopting a new persona, you can surprise your enemies, gain respect, or even throw off any preconceived expectations. People are less likely to challenge you when they don't know what to expect. For instance, Machiavelli advised leaders to shape their image as a mix of both the lion and the fox, adapting to circumstances as needed. This flexibility helped rulers stay in control, regardless of a situation. Lesson: reinvent yourself as needed. Changing your identity can help you stay one step ahead and increase your power. Law 26. Keep your hands clean. This law is about maintaining a pure image and avoiding direct involvement in any underhanded actions. While others may do the dirty work, you should stay above the fray. By keeping your hands clean, you protect your reputation and avoid being dragged down by the consequences of others' actions. You can use others as scapegoats or tools for carrying out any unsavory tasks, but make sure you are never directly tied to these actions. Your image is your most valuable asset, and keeping it pristine ensures your power remains unchallenged. Lesson: avoid being directly involved in anything shady. Let others do the dirty work and stay untarnished. Law 27. Play on people's need to believe to create a cult-like following. People have a deep need to believe in something. Use this to your advantage by creating a charismatic persona or a vision that others will follow. When people have something to believe in, they are willing to sacrifice for it, even if they don't fully understand why. To gain power, cultivate an image that inspires people's faith and devotion. Create a narrative that they can rally behind. This is how many leaders and revolutionaries built their influence. Think of figures like Mahatma Gandhi, who had a vision that captivated millions, or Jim Jones, who created a cult by appealing to people's need to believe in something larger than themselves. Lesson: leverage people's desire to believe in something. Create a powerful vision that they can follow, and they'll give you their loyalty. Law 28. Enter action with boldness. This law is all about taking bold, decisive actions. When you move forward with confidence, people will assume that you know what you're doing, and they'll follow your lead. Boldness creates authority and often intimidates others, making them less likely to challenge you. People respect decisiveness. If you hesitate or show doubt, you appear weak. When you act boldly, you send a message that you are in control and know exactly what you're doing. Even if your action fails, boldness ensures that you learn from it and can act with even more confidence next time. Lesson: move forward with boldness and confidence. People will follow your lead, and your actions will carry more weight. Law 29. Plan all the way to the end. This law emphasizes the importance of long-term planning. It's not enough to simply act in the moment. You must think several steps ahead and anticipate the possible outcomes of your actions. To ensure success, you need a clear vision of the future and a strategy to get there. By planning all the way to the end, you minimize risks and increase your chances of success. If you fail to plan, you may be caught off guard by unexpected circumstances or other people's moves. Like a chess player, anticipate every possible scenario and be prepared for any obstacles. Lesson: always plan ahead. Think of the final result and make sure all your actions align with that vision. Law 30: make your accomplishments seem effortless. To maintain power and authority, make your successes seem effortless. When you appear to achieve things with little effort, you not only impress others, but you also make them underestimate your abilities. This creates an air of mystique and makes it harder for others to compete with you. People are often awed by individuals who make difficult tasks look easy. This is because effortlessness is associated with genius or mastery. The more you can downplay the effort behind your success, the more others will be in awe of your abilities. Lesson: hide the hard work and make your accomplishments seem effortless. This will elevate your status and make you more admired. Law 31: control the options. Get others to play with the cards you deal. This law is about manipulating choices. Instead of giving others full freedom, limit the options available to them so they are forced to choose from what you offer. By controlling the options, you can guide others toward a decision that serves your interests while giving them the illusion of freedom. This tactic is often used in negotiations or decision-making. If you present a narrow range of choices, you direct the outcome without appearing to be controlling. When people feel they are in control of their decision, they are more likely to accept it, even if it's exactly what you wanted all along. Lesson: control the options available to others, and they will make the decision you want without realizing it. Law 32: play to people's fantasies. People are driven by fantasies and dreams. By appealing to these fantasies, you can manipulate their desires and gain their loyalty. This law suggests that instead of offering practical solutions, play into people's dreams and promises of a better life. Successful leaders and influencers often offer grand, inspiring visions that resonate with people's hopes, making them more willing to follow. By providing a fantasy, you ignite people's passions and motivate them to take action, sometimes even against their better judgment. Lesson: tap into people's fantasies and desires. Offer them a vision of a better life, and they will follow you. Law 33: discover each man's thumbscrew. Everyone has a weakness or vulnerability, something that can be used to manipulate them. This law advises you to find the pressure point or thumbscrew of every person you interact with and use it to your advantage. Whether it's their ego, insecurity, or a personal desire, knowing their weakness gives you leverage. By understanding what makes people tick, you can influence their decisions and control their actions. Once you identify a person's weak spot, you can play on it to get what you want, either through flattery, promises, or manipulation. Lesson: identify people's vulnerabilities and use them to your advantage. Knowing someone's weakness gives you power over them. Law 34: be royal in your own fashion. Act like a king to be treated like one. This law emphasizes the importance of confidence and self-respect. People treat you the way you treat yourself, so you must project an air of royalty and self-worth. If you act with confidence, dignity, and authority, others will see you in the same light. To gain respect, you must carry yourself with power and never settle for less than what you deserve. Kings don't beg for respect, they demand it. This requires not only confidence, but also a certain level of independence and self-assurance. If you act like a king, people will treat you like one. Lesson: carry yourself with authority and self-respect. Act with confidence, and others will treat you with the same reverence. Law 35: master the art of timing. Timing is everything when it comes to power. Act too soon, and you may seem impulsive or reckless. Wait too long, and you risk losing the opportunity altogether. This law is about knowing when to strike and when to hold back. Great leaders and powerful individuals are adept at reading situations and knowing exactly when to make their move. The key is to be patient, observe the right moment, and move decisively when the time is right. Those who master timing often have a natural sense of when opportunities will emerge and can capitalize on them at the perfect moment. Lesson: master timing. Know when to act and when to wait for the right moment. Law 36: disdain things you cannot have. Ignoring them is the best revenge. This law emphasizes the power of indifference. If you cannot have something or someone, the best strategy is to show that you don't care about it. By disdaining or ignoring what you can't obtain, you create a sense of mystique and control over your emotions. People often find obsession with unattainable things to be a sign of weakness. When you show that you are unaffected by what is beyond your reach, others will respect you more and see you as someone who operates from a place of strength and self-sufficiency. Lesson: if something is unattainable, act as if you don't want it. This will make others value you more and weaken their sense of control over you. Law 37. Create compelling spectacles. This law is about the power of spectacle. Human beings are highly visual and emotional creatures, and a well-crafted spectacle can draw attention and admiration. A grand gesture or a public display can convey your strength, power, and influence far more effectively than words ever could. Think of great leaders who use spectacles to rally people, such as Julius Caesar or Napoleon, who staged grand events to inspire awe and loyalty. By creating compelling spectacles, you capture people's imaginations and gain a deeper level of control over them. Lesson: create powerful and memorable spectacles to command attention and shape people's perceptions of you. Law 38. Think as you like, but behave like others. This law advocates for conformity on the surface, while maintaining your individuality beneath it. While your inner thoughts and opinions may differ from the norm, it's wise to blend in with those around you to avoid attracting negative attention. People are more likely to respect you if they don't feel threatened by your eccentricities. However, by behaving like others, you maintain a sense of fitting in and avoid creating unnecessary friction. Once you've earned people's respect, you can begin to subtly influence them and express your true thoughts without resistance. Lesson: think independently, but conform outwardly to avoid unnecessary conflict. Blend in to gain trust and avoid drawing attention to yourself. Law 39. Stir up waters to catch fish. This law is about creating chaos and confusion to manipulate situations in your favor. When the waters are stirred, people become disoriented, and in the confusion, you can gain the upper hand. When there's chaos, others act impulsively, and you can seize opportunities that they miss. Just like stirring up a pond to catch fish, you can create turmoil or instability to manipulate outcomes in your favor. This might mean introducing rumors, distractions, or chaos that throw others off balance, while you maintain your calm and strike when the time is right. Lesson: create confusion and chaos to distract and disorient your rivals, giving you the chance to act while they're distracted. Law 40. Despise the free lunch. This law warns against accepting favors or gifts without cost. When you receive something for free, you risk becoming indebted to someone, and that debt could be used against you later. The more you accept, the more vulnerable you become. Instead, it's wise to maintain your independence by paying your way. If you offer others something of value, you keep the upper hand. People will respect you more when you don't rely on others for handouts and when you pay for what you get. Lesson: don't take what you haven't earned. Dependence weakens your power, so always maintain your independence. Law 41. Avoid stepping into a great man's shoes. This law advises against trying to fill the shoes of someone who is greatly admired or respected. When you try to succeed someone who has established a legacy, you will always be compared to them, and it's difficult to live up to their greatness. Instead of emulating the previous leader or predecessor, you should forge your own path and create a legacy that is uniquely yours. By doing so, you avoid the constant comparison and can build your own reputation and power. If you try to imitate someone else, you will always be overshadowed by their memory. Lesson: don't try to emulate a great man or woman. Create your own identity and path to avoid being overshadowed by others. Law 42. Strike the shepherd and the sheep will scatter. This law highlights the importance of targeting the leader or the source of power in a group. When you want to undermine or control a group, it's often best to strike at its leader or key figurehead, as this will cause confusion and chaos among their followers. When the leader is removed or neutralized, the followers lose direction and purpose, causing them to scatter and become easy to control. Just as a shepherd keeps their flock together, removing the shepherd leads to disarray and loss of power within the group. Lesson: if you want to take down a group or organization, target the leader. Without the head, the followers will fall apart. Law 43. Work on the hearts and minds of others. Power isn't just about control. It's also about gaining emotional influence. This law suggests that winning people's hearts and minds is crucial for maintaining long-term influence. People are far more likely to follow you if they feel emotionally connected to you and believe in your cause. This emotional bond can be built through empathy, understanding, and making others feel heard and valued. By appealing to people's deeper emotions, you make them loyal to you and your vision, giving you the strength to achieve your goals. Lesson: gain emotional influence over others by appealing to their hearts and minds. When people believe in you, they will follow you more willingly. Law 44. Disarm and infuriate with the mirror effect. The mirror effect is a strategy in which you reflect back the behaviors, attitudes, or strategies of your enemies. By mirroring their actions, you disarm them and infuriate them at the same time, as they are confronted with their own behavior. This law works because people often become frustrated when they encounter themselves and others. They are thrown off balance and unsure of how to react. The mirroring tactic can unsettle your opponents, making them lose focus and giving you a psychological advantage. Lesson: use the mirror effect to disarm and confuse your opponents. By reflecting their own behaviors, you can destabilize them and gain the upper hand. Law 45. Preach the need for change, but never reform too much at once. While change can be powerful, too much change too quickly can cause resistance and disrupt established power structures. This law advises that while advocating for change, you should do so gradually and with caution. Incremental changes are often more effective than sweeping reforms. People tend to resist radical change, so it's important to sell the idea of change without overwhelming people with it. Reform should be introduced in a way that doesn't cause panic or alienation among those in power or the general public. Lesson: advocate for change, but introduce it gradually. Too much change too quickly can lead to resistance and failure. Law 46. Never appear too perfect. This law warns against presenting yourself as too flawless. When you appear perfect, people become envious, and this can breed resentment, which is dangerous. No one likes to feel inferior, and if they think you have no flaws, they may start plotting against you out of jealousy. To maintain power, you must show vulnerability from time to time. By revealing a small flaw or imperfection, you make yourself more relatable and less threatening to others. This also helps to neutralize any potential rivals or enemies who may see you as unreachable. Lesson: don't appear too perfect. Show a little vulnerability so people see you as human and less threatening. Law 47. Do not go past the mark you aim for. In victory, learn when to stop. This law is about knowing when to stop and not being too greedy or ambitious after you've achieved your goal. Often, after a victory, people push further, trying to grab even more power or control. However, this can lead to overreach, which often results in failure. When you've attained what you wanted, it's important to know when to step back. By overextending yourself or pushing for too much, you risk losing everything. Balance and knowing your limits are key to maintaining your power and success. Lesson: when you achieve your goal, know when to stop. Avoid overreaching, which could lead to your downfall. Law 48. Assume formlessness. This law emphasizes the importance of flexibility and adaptability. Power is often gained by those who can adapt to changing circumstances. If you rigidly stick to one form or method, you will become predictable and easy to defeat. Those who are formless can adapt to any situation, shifting their approaches needed to achieve their goals. By being unpredictable and fluid, you can outmaneuver your opponents and gain the upper hand, no matter what obstacles arise. Lesson: be flexible and adaptable. Avoid rigidity, as those who are formless can outlast and outsmart their opponents. That's all for today's deep dive into the 48 laws of power. If you found this insight valuable, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to Read Glow for more powerful lessons from the world's most impactful books. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss a new video that will help you level up your life. Until next time, stay powerful, stay informed. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to Read Glow.